Before we start this video, I'd like to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to bully anyone I discuss in this video. I'm only mentioning that because I don't want to hurt anybody in a personal way, and when I write these types of videos, I'm worried that some people might take it that way. Plus, I don't want my school to come after me. Just keep in mind that I'm not attacking these people. I'm merely sharing my thoughts for entertainment purposes. Anyways, back to the video. If you've ever been in school, you've probably noticed how people divide themselves up into cliques as if they were living in a Nickelodeon show. The way most people kind of separate themselves up doesn't really bother me because regular kids just keep to themselves and stay out of trouble. However, there are a few groups of friends in the school that I attend that do the exact opposite and constantly get into shit for no justifiable reason. These groups are all somewhat acquainted with each other and combine into a super cesspool of stereotypical popular kids. I don't know why you would willingly catapult yourself into that whole situation because it's a one-way ticket to getting bent over by the principal, but I mean, hey, if that's what you're into, I'm not gonna get in the way of your kinks. Anyways, let's talk about what they've been up to. One of my personal favorites of the in crowd are the students that vape to look cool. I've been in conversations with these people and they've told me themselves that apparently they get their moms to drop them off at the mall so they can vape it up in the bathrooms there for fun. These are the people that consider themselves to be the cool, popular kids. I can't argue with that logic. I mean, what's more rad than spending your allowance on a handheld air humidifier and shoving it down your throat? I'm kind of envious, to be honest, because your lives are so much more interesting than anything I'll ever amount to. Matter of fact, every night before I go to bed, I kneel on my bedroom floor and I pray to God that one day I might be even half as interesting as you, and that once I might have the opportunity to savor the sour taste of your balls in my mouth. I only think it's this funny because these are the same people that think I'm the weird and uncool one. Even more funny is the fact that they vape because they think it looks cool. What other reason could it be? It's not like they're putting nicotine in their little vape pens. Doing something that rebellious might make them soil themselves. So they can't be getting anything out of vaping besides, whoa dude, did you see that insane cloud I just blew out of my mouth? You know, that's not the only thing I'm good at blowing. Beyond it being inherently funny, it's a really fundamentally dumb behavior. You're not achieving any high out of sucking on your nicotine-free unicorn fart e-juice, yet it still messes up your lungs. Not that you should be getting hooked on nicotine at 13, but you're fucking up your lungs to no avail. And you don't even look cool doing it. You're getting lung cancer to look cool, and it makes you look even more stupid. Because, I mean, whenever I go out and see someone doing vape tricks on the street, it gives me the instinctive feeling of ugh. Like, when's the last time you saw someone vaping and thought, wow, that fellow over there is pretty nifty looking? Right, never. You either think they look disabled waltzing around blowing Febreze everywhere, or you think nothing of it. Another part of the popular crowd that bewilders me more than anything is the stereotypical group of sluts. I'm apprehensive to say that because I don't feel too comfortable calling a group of girls my age sluts. In my case, the label refers to the girls in school whose lives exclusively revolve around boys. Many within that friend group are constantly dating someone new, you know, can only ever discuss guys, and send nudes to everyone. But I mean, you do you. I think a good way to introduce their situation is the fact that recently guys have been feeling confident enough in their chances that they're asking these girls for nudes out of the blue. More like demanding them, but you know what I mean. Now I hear you saying, well, how did that happen? And where did these guys get the confidence to do that? Glad you asked. I've witnessed the actions of these gals firsthand. I've been in that friend group. I got the top secret info. Here's the deal, and I don't know to what extent they do this anymore, but a few girls in the group have sent nudes to a lot of people. Some guys at our school, a lot they don't know, like from different schools entirely, and they've never met before, but the bottom line is it's just a lot of guys. Now, that fact alone concerns me a lot, but it's their choice. Where it becomes more of a problem for me is when random guys started asking for nudes from them, and the girls started complaining and calling them perverts. Considering the amount of nudes you sent, how can you ever be outraged when someone asks for one out of the blue? You know, the more of a product you have in a market, the less it's worth. You keep sending snapshots of your clam to people, eventually they're gonna think, well, she's just handing them out. If you want to be the cool slut gal, your response should not be, oh, gee, what a perv. Your response should be, thank you, have a nice day, like you're a contractor. He made a demand for the commodity and you couldn't supply it, that's it. Also, you're calling guys disgusting for demanding nudes of you out of nowhere, but it's not disgusting when you send nudes to random guys out of nowhere? I don't know about about that one? Well, I shouldn't go too hard in on these girls because everyone makes mistakes and puts themselves in a bad position at least once in their lives. And some of the people that got dragged into the group are actually nice people. Some are more menacing, and those are the ones that I wanted to address. I've noticed that those more predatorial girls have a tendency to look down upon their female peers who are not trying as hard as them. For example, I don't ever wear makeup and I dress somewhat androgynously, and that resulted in them calling me a lesbian for it, which I was not offended by, wasn't surprised either. It didn't have me running away in tears thinking, they called me queer, because it's just a joke. But it encapsulates their attitude pretty well, which is the attitude of feeling like you accomplished something by forcing yourself to wake up an hour earlier so you can turn your head into a multi-layer cake, and calling the people who don't care about that as much as you do ugly losers. I'm terribly sorry I'm not as histrionic and paranoid as you are about looks. Please forgive me, Your Highness, for this behavior being unacceptable. I should be getting compulsive about my makeup when I'm 13, because that's the mentally healthy thing to do, and that's the queen-like behavior I should adopt. People like these are big on cognitive dissonance. They think that doing all that stuff makes them look super sleek and cool, like a Victoria's Secret runway model, when it actually just makes them look like a Honey Boo Boo runoff with cheap makeup whose parents are first cousins. And there's a clear objective that ties in with their habits of caring too much about appearance: a boyfriend. Actually, I think a lot of people, not just them, are trying to fit anyone they can into that label of boyfriend or girlfriend in the name of vanity, which is also why it's so common for teens in relationships to constantly post on social media about their relationship. What's the point of dating a hot guy if nobody knows about it? Exactly, to a minor league thought like those mentioned before, there is none. You might as well toss that relationship into the recycling bin. Oh, and you can't forget that being a teen includes the wonderful experience of your body jacking you up on hormones all the time, which inevitably turns all of us adolescents into emotional fag lords that fall in love with any object in a 3-foot proximity. That's probably contributing to why some of these girls go through 6 guys a grade. You want to know who I'm actually angry at though? Because it's not the kids. You know, kids and teens are dumb. We make stupid decisions, and I'm no exception. I'm actually angry at the parents here. Obviously, there's some sort of problem in their technique because they raise chimps, not children. If you've ever been to a monkey zoo, you'll know that the chimps fucking steal your keys, fling shit at you, and scream. Shave one and you'll get a middle schooler. What I'm meaning to say is that, judging from their results, the parents of the kids I've been talking about can't properly raise a child. Since their idea of proactive parenting is shoveling cash onto the kids' every whims until they're 18, you get these late teenagehood bums who live their lives as if they're in some sort of fairy tale fantasy. They're pushing a little high school drama where they're the protagonist and they can bitch about everyone, but they're destined to have a great future no matter what they do, while using the infamous daddy bucks to buy themselves a lifetime supply of vape juice. You're totally not going to be a vitriolic whore when you get to college. Whatever gave you that idea? I'm pretty disassociated from the social playing grounds at this point. A lot of the observations I've been talking about are based on knowledge that I got earlier on in the school year, since now I'm not in any groups picking up on the hot gossip. I have like one friend that I know pretty well and hang out with a lot, and that's about it actually, which, believe it or not, actually makes me more mentally stable in some ways, considering now I don't have to endure sitting at the problematic lunch tables I used to sit at in the cafeteria. On another note, my mind is slowly becoming a nuclear reactor, so that's fun. I think being chained to a desk for 7 hours a day is causing my teenage brain to kick into high gear, because lately I've noticed that in school I resemble a hyperactive toddler. The symptoms being screaming and shouting gibberish in class, running and jumping around in parkour fashion when I can just as easily walk to my destination, and generally freaking everybody out by acting like a retard. It probably comes from the boredom, which results in my brain impulsively testing the limits of what I can get away with in school in an effort to entertain myself. Like, instead of simply walking to the trash can to throw something out, I'll hop over there and slam dunk that shit. My locker's a pop locker that can open without a combo, so a couple weeks ago I started straight up roundhouse kicking the door to open it. I pretend to slam my head on my desk, and I pretend to punch people a lot. Come to think of it, I do a lot of slapstick type comedy in school to stay physically active. I'll do whatever it takes to avoid keeling over and dying of boredom in class. Anyways, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed or could at least resonate with my feelings. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe for more regular content. Hit that notification bell to make sure that you actually see my videos when they come out, and I'll see you in another video.